Hello, welcome back. I'm Byron. We are sieging Elysia and sort of Byzantium as the Macedonians in the Rise of Rome campaign on Civilization 3 Conquests. I don't really care much about Byzantium. I don't really care much about Elysia. I'm on track to win this game. Elysia is the capital of Gaul, or the Celts as they're called in this game, because in this game I didn't know anything about Gaul. I later sort of pieced together that Gaul is where Gaelic comes from, much later, and it was through this game that I really know that the Gauls are the same people as the Celts, ish, sort of, in a way. I remember that last part of this episode. What do you think about the structure here? Do you think I've structured it well, having the episodes in parts? Because I don't have ads, but if I did, ones I've seen, the mid-roll ads don't really work very well. Even of the major companies like CBS and Hulu, they don't have their ads precisely where they need to be. There's some reason that just doesn't work very well. So that's why I cut them up to parts as units in the as individual videos, rather than saying this is part 1, part 2, part 3, and having the episode be one video. That's why I do that. So what do you guys think about that? Think it's a good idea? Bad idea? Who knows? Yeah, don't have ads, so it doesn't really matter. But it's since I don't have ads, if I want to break these episodes up, that's the only way to do it. Or I could just have a blank space, and I'll write your name. Write your name in the comments, and I'll write it in the blank space between the episodes. Between the parts of the episodes. Well, anyway. So let's go to the news and see what's going on in the news while I besiege Elysia. I wonder, where is Elysia? It's nowhere important. Sorry if I offended any Elysians out there, but I don't believe it's any major city, even among the major cities of France, not even the major cities of the world. I don't believe Elysia is any sort of relevant location to any of those. If anyone knows, put it in the comments. Sort of guess which cities I've heard of in France, and name the one it's closest to. So let's see if I can open this news up and see what's in the news. I opened up Canvas because the thing looks a lot like Reuters. North Korea fires missile test that lands close to Japan. Yep. Bang, 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 go the nukes. You know what? Playing this game, it's hard not to fire nukes if you have them. I've played games where I know I shouldn't fire any nukes. This is the zoom feature. I don't know if I've ever talked about this, but there's no dynamic zoom where you can sort of have multiple layers and go in and out. But there is a second level that you can look at, and I think I'm looking at all those cities with 6 pop and thinking about taking those. There's one up there in the Netherlands, or is that Germany? I think that's the Netherlands. I'm not going to take that one. Anyway, oh wow, they're crushing here. That was a bad battle. Score. 300 points up. I think it can win. Anyway, in these games you have a nuke, you gotta fire it. I fired them into the sea several times just to do them, because they're fun. And I don't see how world leaders manage not to fire nukes, because it's so much fun. Like actual world leaders in the real life. Republican taxpaying clears hurdle in Senate. Fight erupts over spending. Indexes hit record highs, helped by tax bill progress. So I've seen some people say that the taxes aren't good for anyone, but the stock market likes them. So that is at least something, whatever your opinion is. The stock market does like them. That's the only real, I don't know, it's the only real numbers you can go with. Real solid numbers. Everything else is sort of, I don't know. There are some, people analyzing and saying what numbers will be, but these are the stock market style numbers we get to see right now, and they are going up. But they go up during I think I've said this before. What the stock market likes is not Republicans, it's not Democrats, it's certainty. So I think it would like a Democratic spending bill just as much, but just as long as it was sort of certain. The further along the path it goes to actually being passed, the higher the stock market will go. Republican tax, I just talked about that. Okay. Party lines, the budget committee, 12-11. So it's going to the full Senate soon. Republicans deny the votes. They didn't repeal health care. We know this. Yeah, and the Democrats canceled a meeting with President Trump because of a tweet he gave. Have I talked about his tweets? If I haven't talked about his tweets, I'm not going to talk about it right now. It's too long a topic. Okay, so it looks like the Democrats are going to allow the budget to pass to get to DACA basically as legislation. To Trump's desk before the end of the year. Okay, corporate tax rate is being lowered from 35 to 20%. Well, exempting foreign profits from U.S. taxation. I'm not entirely opposed to that. It's written. Widen the U.S. budget deficit. Oh, what happened here? I pushed a button. $1.4 trillion over 10 years. Republicans say the gap will be narrowed by additional economic growth. Corker said the bill would be modified to automatically raise tax revenues if growth targets were not reached. That's interesting. I have to say that's interesting. This puts some teeth in Republicans' claims that their tax cuts will grow the economy and will therefore actually result in higher deficits. So this puts some teeth in that. So yeah, I could definitely get behind it. I would be interested in knowing. I could look it up, but I'm not gonna. I would be interested in knowing what the modifications are. Like, if growth targets aren't met, what would the tax plan then be? And so that means that the 1.4 billion is incorrect. Billion, is that it? Trillion, 1.4 trillion. That makes more sense. So that means it would therefore have to be less of a deficit than 1.4 trillion, because the economy will grow and therefore we'll get more tax revenue, or it won't grow and taxes will be higher. It's interesting. So I just took the next capital. I do this when I play this Civ 3. That's sort of how I invade countries, is I go for their capital, and then once I've taken it, they get a new capital, and then I go for the capital again. I think I'm looking for the capital. There it is. It's that one in the Netherlands that I said I wasn't going to take. And yep, here I am going to make peace. There's two different things. There's our troops approach your cities, we urge you to make a peace deal, which is the surrender, which is telling them to surrender. Or it's also, we seem to have overextended ourselves, which is saying we surrender. Which I don't know if it has any effect really, because I think you could do the overextended and then still demand things on their side of the table. I believe I've done that before. And I'm living in that city in Italy because I don't care. I believe my road network still goes through Italy. Not that it really matters. Italy's just going to sit there for the rest of the game doing nothing. Just maybe some gold. Which doesn't matter. It improves the score because you have happy citizens make your score higher. U.S. Budget Chief Mulvaney says CFPB staff should disregard Deputy Director. I don't know what that is. U.S. Budget Chief told the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau, that's what it is, CFPB is the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau, to disregard instructions from Leanda English. What were the instructions? Mulvaney and English, the agency's deputy director, are in a legal fight over who should control the agency following the Friday resignation of Director Richard Cordray. Wow. U.S. Budget Chief, Office of Management and Budget. Whoa, that's a weird story. I'm gonna read the whole thing. I think I've read the whole thing, but I'm just gonna read the whole thing to you. U.S. Budget Chief Mick Mulvaney on Tuesday told staff at the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau to disregard instructions from Leandra English, the deputy director, according to a memo. Quote, consistent with my email from yesterday, please disregard any email sent by or instructions you receive from Miss English when she is reporting to act as the acting director, end quote. Mulvaney wrote in an email to staff Tuesday morning. Mulvaney and English, the agency's deputy director, are in a legal fight over who should control the agency following the Friday resignation of Director Richard Cordray. That's so weird. Like, what was in the memo they didn't like? I don't think there was anything in the memo he didn't really like. I just think he objected to her giving instructions. And it looks like I took Byzantium while I wasn't looking. So yeah, 11 turns left. I think I may just go to intern pretty quickly, because I don't see any other goals I want to accomplish. Am I going to go for Palestine? Oh, but it looks like they're about to take it back. Oh no! Oh, it didn't lose any pop. I think it does that. It loses pop the first time the city is taken by a new civ, but if you retake it, there's no pop loss, and if they retake it again, there's no pop loss. Oh no! This culture thing. Oh, they just announced the Civ 6 re-release. And that is sort of coming back. The culture thing. And it was very interesting. It looked like they're trying to create, there's Dark Ages and Golden Ages. I guess this counts as news. So I guess it fits in the segment. But there's Dark Ages and there's Golden Ages. And it sort of says the Golden Ages are good, but the Dark Ages definitely have advantages. But at the same time, there's going to be, and there seems to be a thing called loyalty, which I think is just a counter towards Dark and Golden Ages. So there's like a loyalty counter. I think that'll be one of the top screen things. You can't. It's not in this game, but in, I think Civ 4 is the one that introduced it. There's numbers along the top of all your culture and your. Maybe it didn't. Maybe Civ 6 did. Maybe it was Civ 5 that introduced it. But your culture, your faith, all that stuff. So I think loyalty is going to be like the Golden Age counter, pretty much. But there's an opposite of a Golden Age, and that's a Dark Age. But they were talking about how the Golden Age, the Dark Age, is not entirely a bad thing. However, when people start playing the game, they're going to realize that one is better than the other, no matter how much they try to balance it. There's always going to be a dominant strategy. Am I attacking anywhere? No, I think I'm just, oh yes, I'm fortifying Elysia so that they can't revolt, because if you have a bunch of units in there, they can't flip over. Anyway, oh look at that, oh, that's another thing in this game, is rally points. You could set a rally point, that way every unit that gets produced will automatically go there. That was, I rarely use it, but it's convenient to have. And I was watching the Yogscast play their game, and they were talking about, Pyrian was talking about the colonies, and that's this game. And they were less useful in this game than they would be in the modern games. So I never use the colonies really in this game, because my empire is always big enough that I have resources. Anyway, back to the loyalty system. I guess I'm done with the news, the sort of national news and stuff. But so you have Dark Ages, Golden Ages, and the benefit of Dark Ages is, I think, mainly to get you to Golden Ages faster, or something. And there's the Heroic Age, which is interesting. Yeah. I hope it doesn't break the game. I hope it's still the same game. I hope it's not like, it's called Rise and Fall, which is a reference to, it's probably a reference to the Rise and Fall scenarios in Civ 4, which I may eventually play. I'd have to get it on Steam to really get the modding right. So I have to repurchase it, in fact, in order to play it. But I may be willing to do that. I don't know. I think my next game is either going to be some sort of complete, and this can be hard to do because a complete playthrough of the Pokemon generations, and oh, you know, I want to wait for a Gen 4 remake before I do that, because I don't want to play the Gen 4 games that are out now. So what I would do is I'd play Gen 5, Gen 6 with Gen 3 remakes of Gen 6 in Gen 6, Gen 7, and the Gen 4 remakes in whatever gen they do it in. And then I would also play the original Fire Red and Leaf Green. Not the original Fire Red and Leaf Green, no, the original Gen 1 and the original Gen 2. Or I may do Grand Theft Auto, because Grand Theft Auto is fun. San Andreas, I've never even got close to finishing that game. So I'd like to do that one for a bit. And what I may do, oops, sorry about that. What I may do is sort of do a second series. I mean, this would be the main series where I sit and talk about sort of mostly unrelated things. And maybe I'll do one with games with other games that's just me jibber jabbering. I know this is a lot of jibber jabber, but because it takes a long time to make these, because I gotta come up with the topics and the top 10 lists and all that. Doesn't take that long, but it takes some time. So that's good. Anyway, so Civ 6 is based on the rise and fall, but it should be closer to the main series games. The Golden Age and the Dark Age is just going to be an added layer. It's going to be sort of like the introduction of Faith on that level of changing the game. When Civ 5 introduced Faith, that will be, I think, the level in which this rise and fall system plays out. And it won't be a completely different game like Faith. And I remember in Civ 4 there was a sort of a zombie scenario, which I never really understood. I played it a couple turns and just was confused and always quit. So I did that. And I haven't played any of the scenarios in Civ 6 yet. And I might do that. It's so hard to play. I want to play all the Civs, but I don't think I will. I'm not recording any of them. Maybe I could do that. Maybe I could record though to just put them up, just without any commentary. Anyway, been fun. See you guys later. Bye.